in your brain cells from more damage. And so it doesn't reverse Parkinson's necessarily, because it's a really tough disease, but it will slow down the symptoms and give a person more time to do other things to try to get healthier. So CoQ10 works in all the parts of the body where there's lots of energy being used, like the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the brain. So it's all about energy, and it's all about protecting the DNA. So that was number 4. Number 5 is C-reactive protein, CRP, and that's a measure of the amount of inflammation you have in your body. And so we know about inflammation from the 3,6 omega marker, but if you have high levels of inflammation in your body, and then you get exposed to this virus, or you get exposed to toxins that can cause cancer, you're going to be more vulnerable than if you didn't have it. So we want people to get their CRP tested and make sure that they're controlling their inflammation, because that means your immune system is really going to be working at a more optimal level. And so that should be on everybody's blood test. I mean, even if you don't use these markers in our little test that I have on the immune system, make sure your doctor includes vitamin D3 and C-reactive protein, because those should definitely be on everybody's blood test every time they get their blood tested.
Wow. Yeah, and people can request that.
Yes, they can request that. I mean, a lot of these things are expensive tests, and so that's why I'm saying those are the two, that if you're going to get anything added to your test, your blood test, those are the two you should have added. But, you know, hypochondriacs like to have them all, so I would go to number 6. Number 6 is called 8-OHGD, and that's a urine test, and it measures the accumulative DNA damage in your cells. Well,
wow, because, wow, that's right. Who doesn't want to know that?
There's no other test that's good at this. I mean, there are lots of other tests that can measure DNA damage, but we know that whether it's radiation or toxins or other things, all these things accumulate in the body. And when they accumulate at a high level, that means the immune system is constantly overworking to try to deal with them. So you'll have a weakened immune system if you have high levels of DNA damage in your body. So knowing that, then you can go and do a detoxification program, remove those toxins, then do another test and find out if your 8-OHGD test actually improves. And it will, when you get detoxification programs out there that are effective, and there are several.
Wow. Goodness. And that was number 6? Goodness me.
Number 7 is a what we call a GGT test. That's the gamma glutamyl transpeptidase test, and that's the test to see whether your liver function is working well. The liver is the top detoxification organ in your body. It has to take all these toxins that come into our body through 2 stages. Stage 1 level detoxification, and then stage 2. And if it doesn't, and it's challenged, then the GGT level will go up and say, wait a minute, we're having problems. You're taking too many prescription medications, which is a challenge for your liver. You're drinking too much alcohol, which is a challenge for your liver. You're living in a polluted environment, which is a challenge for your liver. So if your liver gets these multiple insults, then that test is going to show that your liver is straining. And you don't want your liver to be straining. You want it to be as healthy as possible, because that's the protection you need in your immune system to have a healthy liver.
Yeah. So and we use our livers. Yeah, we're up to 7.
All the time. It's a 24/7 organ, exactly.
Oh. Wow.
Number 8 is sugar. The sugar is the what we call public enemy number 1 in your body. And so you need to have a measure of whether you have too much sugar in your body, because if you have too much sugar in your body, it can actually fill up your white blood cells and create an immune deficiency of about 75%. And because the vitamin C molecule and the sugar molecule are very similar looking to the body. So the body can see the sugar and go, oh, look, I think we have some vitamin C there. Let's fill up our white blood cells. Then you get these white blood cells all filled up, but it's a false filling. In other words,
I see.
They're healthy, but when they go to work, they don't work because there's no vitamin C in them, and there's nothing for protection because all they have in there is sugar. So we want to have a great sugar test. Well, A1C is okay, but it's not great. Total glucose is okay, but it's not great. But the glycomark test, glycomark, Glycomark, the glycomark test actually gives you a measure of not only your total sugar, but if you're getting sugar spikes during your meals, it will tell you that you're getting too much sugar in your meals. And so the glycomark is an accurate measure, because a lot of people want fasting blood sugar tests. In other words, they go for a blood test. You have to fast for 12 hours. That's not a good way to measure your blood, because anybody can lower their blood sugar by fasting for 12 hours. It's what happens when you eat that is the problem. That's why women who are pregnant have a total glucose test. In other words, they have a glucose challenge test where they consume 75 grams of sugar, and in over a 3-hour period, they're tested. But who can sit for 3 hours on a test like that? Well, you don't need to now. A glycomark will give you that measure in just one simple blood test.
Now we have about 4 minutes left. We've got to get 2 more markers in here. So I'm excited now. So
okay. So the lymphocytes are one of the main things that are in our blood, our white blood cells. And so we need to add lymphocytes as a measure, and we can do that in a blood test. And we know that, for instance, cancer and any autoimmune disease and flus, and they are all really, like lymphocytes are really crucial. So we measure those there. And the final one is homocysteine. We have to measure our homocysteine because if we don't have enough vitamin B6 and 12 and folic acid in our body, we can't make neurotransmitters, we can't make hormones, we can't make a lot of other chemicals in our body. So homocysteine is actually also a kind of a measure of inflammation in the body. But more importantly than that, it's the methylator that these 3 things, B6, B12, and folic acid, are methylators. They break down the amino acids in our body to make all these neurotransmitters and all these hormones in our body. So if you look at somebody who has a sleep problem, they probably have homocysteine problems because they're not making enough of melatonin, and that means they're not having enough of folic acid. Well, that goes double for all the other vitamins and minerals that are made with these homocysteine methylator supplements. So I think homocysteine is crucial, and that's number 10 on the list. And if you put all these 10 together, then you have a great picture of whether your immune system is really working the way that it should.
So if somebody wanted to get their whole immune system checked, where would they go? What could they do?
Well, as far as I know, this is the only test of its kind in the world. I developed this test about 3 or 4 months ago. There are other tests that measure like 35 different markers you can get from SpectraCell, but that's more than that doctors would want to look at all those 35 different markers. I've tried to boil it down to the 10 markers that I think give an accurate picture that a person can look at. And if you get this test, we give you how to read the ranges. In other words, we give you a document that says if you're out of range on any one of these, here's how you can get back in range. Eat these foods, take these nutritional supplements, and that will bring you back into the ranges that we identify as the safe ranges. So you're getting the solution.
You're getting the solution. Dr. BENS, we could talk for hours. You are absolutely fascinating. And what a treat it has been to have you here today. I am so grateful and so honored. And I know our listeners are as well. Thank you again for joining us for a second time on Yin Yoga Lifestyle. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I just hope that people are sort of paying attention, and knowledge is power. And so if you have fears and anxieties, gain more knowledge about what's what's a problem. And we have all kinds of articles and other things on our site that they can read. And your program also helps because yoga helps reduce stress, and that helps to keep the immune system strong as well.
Thank you so much. And for more information about Dr. Charles BENS, please visit Dr. Charles BENS, DrCharlesBENS.com. Many thanks again. And we hope to have you on again soon for another podcast to enlighten us all again, I hope.
I love it. And you're a great you're a great questioner, you're a great listener, and your enthusiasm is contagious. Thank you so much for doing all your work.
Thank you, Dr. BENS, and likewise. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com for free yin yoga videos, a blog, and more, and where you can sign up for online yin yoga classes with me, Colette Darville, and get the first class for free. We can get you started on your daily yin yoga routine. It is that easy. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, so, and exhale, hum.